Get your ears wrapped around the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast. All the scoop you need to know from college basketball to the NBA and even March Madness. News of your rising stars. Topics on and off the hardwood. This is the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast.
Welcome to the GSMC Basketball Podcast, presented on the GSMC Podcast Network with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway. So, this is where we're at right now. We're at the end of 2017. In case you guys didn't know, like maybe for the last 360 something days, you've maybe just been under a rock, like literally under some type of rock where you don't know what time it is. But if you were under a rock, I would think time would move pretty slow for you. So maybe you think it's like July. Who knows? But the year is over. We're at the end of the year. And I just want to thank you guys for, being supportive and listening to my silky, amazing baritone voice. I don't know if I have a baritone voice. That's just the word I heard once, and I'm just going to roll with that. So yeah, thanks again. Anyhow, this is where we're at today. I'm going to end the year with one of your favorite topics, whether or not LeBron is better than Jordan. And my conclusion is going to be, it doesn't matter. Like that's what it's going to come down to. I hate to break your hearts about me making a decision or telling you what to believe, but it doesn't make a difference because they're two completely different people. So it doesn't really matter. So I hate to just lift the curtain on that great debate. I'm also going to take responsibility for one of my picks that I gave you the other day. I gave you a pick and told you the Cavs were going to go to Sacramento and just let the Kings have it. But somehow Vince Carter put together a 24-point game. Yes, Vince Carter, drafted in 1999, put together a 24-point game, and the Kings hung 15 buckets on the Cavs. So I take responsibility for that loss. If you guys bet on that, then I'm not going to send you the money that you lost, but I'm sorry that happened to you. I regret that you experienced that unfortunate situation. So, okay, we're friends again now. That's cool. Also, I will not bury the lead. I'm going to tell you guys about how the Celtics came back from a 26-point deficit against the Rockets. And just because this is what we usually do, the most important thing, is when a winner loses, right? Even though they're both winners, because the Rockets have such a high record in the West, it's a bigger deal that they lost and the Celtics won because we're kind of used to the Celtics winning. Kinda, and we're not really used to the Rockets losing a 26-point lead. So I'm going to talk to you about how this loss is maybe the blueprint to beating them. Well, it's not even really a blueprint. You guys ready? We're going to go into it. I'm also going to tell you about how Nike's trying to trick us with Kyrie Irving's new shoe, because Kyrie Irving's new shoe kind of looks like some Barclays that I had back in 90 something, but they just don't have a strap on them. So yeah, on with the show. Anyway. Oh, that's so rude of me. How are you guys doing? You guys okay? Everything fine? All right, cool. Good to know. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me just say something. You have a hotspot on your phone? Because I have a hotspot on my phone. And I feel like some conveniences in life, right? Some things are so convenient that we get really used to them. And then when they don't work, we curse the world. But it's an amazing advancement in technology, though, right? But if we don't have it, then the whole world ends. For example, I'm going to give you a really basic example. Your car. You can get in your car and it will take you anywhere. It'll take you anywhere. Your car will take you somewhere that's 60 miles away in 1 hour. In 1 hour, you can just get in it in a machine and take you somewhere. You don't have to do anything. You can eat. You can put on your makeup. You can text. You can do a whole bunch of dangerous things that you're not supposed to be doing, but it makes things more dangerous for everyone else. But if your car doesn't start, all hell breaks loose. But luckily we have Ubers and Lyfts, right? So it's okay. You got a little bit of money in your pocket, call an Uber or Lyft. This is what my hotspot is going through. My hotspot's fine, by the way. But at first it wasn't working, and I was I was probably going to grab the soundboard and just toss it out of the window because I was genuinely shook. I was shook. Like, how does this not work? But think about it, bro. Like, you have a whole phone that'll connect to a satellite, and then that satellite will give like your laptop computer power. I know those aren't technical terms at all. Like, computer power is whatever you guys are going to deal with. So one of my messages for today is going to be, hey, be grateful. Be grateful, because when things don't work, we're livid. But when they do work, I think we kind of take them for granted. That's one message for today. For example, the Houston Rockets in the 3-point shooting. So they've made the most 3-pointers like in the NBA this season. Like, that's kind of their hype, right? So they're doing the whole D'Antoni system where, you know, we're not going to play any D. We're going to just pull. We're going to pull and pull and pull. Unlimited 3-pointers. That's what we're going to do. Unlimited. And I had a conversation with one of my brothers the other day when this is a few weeks ago. And he was telling me, he's one of these new Rockets fans, which is fine. I don't have anything against bandwagon fans because sports are entertainment. I don't think that you need to get your team tattooed on your forehead and have like your kids get like lower back tattoos of that team to be like a fan. I don't believe in that because it's all entertainment. Like, it shifts. So he's one of these new Rocket fans or whatever. And he was telling me, yeah, you know, the Rockets are so great. They're better than the Warriors. And James Harden's the best ever because if James Harden's having a bad game, he can find other ways to score. And when Steph Curry's off, he sucks. And I was like, okay, I see what you mean by that. But when the Rockets are off, aren't they just off? No, because everyone on the team can shoot. Everybody's so wet. They got so much splash. They're outstanding 3-point shooters. And I was like, okay. And you know, discussion didn't go anywhere. You know, most of the time you try to like change someone's mind when you're talking about sport. No. When I was younger, let's go back. When I was younger, and this may be some advice to you, I would try to change people's minds about how I felt about sports or how I felt about a particular player. But you can't change someone's mind. All you could do is exchange ideas. Because you know what happens? This is an argument. I believe this way and I'm right. No, I believe this way and I'm right. That's an argument. You know what an exchange of ideas is? Here's an exchange of ideas. Here's my idea. Okay, here's my idea. I don't like that idea. Okay, that's stupid. Fine. Okay. Then they walk off and that's it. So we were exchanging ideas. I didn't expect to change his mind. Just because I felt like we were almost saying the same thing, just about two different teams. I say all that to say this. The Rockets lost not because of like Brad Stevenson's amazing coaching. It's because they went cold. So, but I will give Brad Stevenson credit. He's the coach of the Celtics, by the way. They're down 26 points. Okay. And, they're down 26 points and he takes a bench player and puts him in the game. And, you know, a lot of teams won't do that, but he's a young coach though. So I want to believe because he's a young coach and because he's played basketball like recently, but not in the NBA. I believe he has like, I want to say, let's say younger basketball coaching techniques. So when these teams are down that many points, teams are packing it in. Like, they go home, that's it. Like, it's a wrap, you know, just clear the bench, put everybody in, like put the water boy in, put the guy that gives away the towels, just put all the men. But he goes in and puts in a bench player to get a spark. Somebody that doesn't play that often. And that's something that somebody would do in like high school or college. I don't even know. 26 points is a lot. But he put in this player. I'm going to give him credit. Abdel Nader, he put him in. Abdel Nader missed his first 4 shots, but he turned on like an incredible amount of defense. He was just outstanding at D. When you put the guy in who doesn't get to play, and then like it's a real game and he goes hard in the paint, harder than everybody. So you put the bench guy in with the starters aren't going to keep looking at the coach like, hey, yo, we're down 26. Are you going to take us out anytime soon? Are you going to take us out? You put this guy in who's on like, probably like, I don't know, a 1-hour contract, put him in the game and he created a spark. And I read a little bit more about it, and the Celtics basically, I'm going to say they amped up their offense, but realistically, they won the third quarter 31-16, and they won the fourth quarter 30-20. So in the second half, let's say they outscored them by 17. They outscored them by 27 points in the second half. Go figure. And they won the game by 1 point. Now, the only way like possible you can be down, only way possible that you can be up 26 points and then you lose that lead of 26 points. It's if you turn the ball over a lot. The issue is this. When it came to the turnovers, the turnovers weren't something that was, what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't something that was like completely outmatched. Like you'd expect one team to just start like turning the ball over a lot, right? To lose it. No, they both had 16 turnovers. Okay. So both teams had 16 turnovers. Both teams had 44 rebounds. Both teams had 9 assists. Both teams had 22 personal fouls. So, but one team won by 1 point. And you guys want to know why? Do you want to know? I'll tell you why. Here's the thing. When you shoot 3-pointers, they cause for long rebounds, and they end up being outlet rebounds. They cause turnovers. Like if you don't make a 3-pointer, it causes a turnover more often than not. When you're in a half court set, you shoot like a mid-range jumper, or you go for a layup or whatnot. You go for a layup, then you have more times than you have more players in the key crashing the boards for the offensive rebound. When you shoot a 3-pointer, a lot of times it's going to be a long rebound. Long rebounds cause fast breaks. So they end up giving up a 26-point lead because they went cold. If that happens during the playoffs, which it will, I mean, that happened when they played against the Spurs last year. When that happens, you're going to be looking at a Rockets team that you don't quite recognize. The Rockets shot 14 for 43 from the 3-point line. 14 for 43. That's 30%. So, and the Celtics shot 8 for 29, which is 27%, which is fine. But the Rockets shot, is that 14 more 3-pointers and made 6. So you're looking at 14 more 3-pointers than the other team shot, and you missed almost 30 3-pointers. I don't really know the offensive versus defense rebounds on those threes, but I'm going to say like 95% of them were, I'm going to guess 95% of those were defensive rebounds. So that's the thing, right? Like that's the Rockets strategy, right? So we're going to come down. We're just going to pull. We're going to pull. And with James Harden having a lot of assists, I would never take anything away from his assists at all. That's not what I'm going to do. He has the most assists in the NBA. He's balling. Like he passed the ball. The thing about his assists are, his team, they're just pulling. Like it's D'Antoni, Nelly ball, whatever. They're just pulling completely. That's what they're going to do. So when he's diming the ball, these players, they're not necessarily, these aren't all like cut plays where they're cutting in the bucket and he's getting them dimes. That happens. But a lot of them, he has the rock. Defenses collapse on him. He kicks it. Ryan Anderson, wet. Eric Gordon, wet. Trevor Ariza, wet, which is fine. Only issue is, like, when those guys are off, he doesn't get the assist. Duh. So what's happening is, like, you got this set where, we're just going to pull all day. And when they're falling, that's great. Like, it's amazing. But when they're not falling, and these aren't like actual shooters that are coming off of screens with set shots, like a Clay, or even someone that can create their own shot, like a Steph, then, I mean, you might be looking at a first round exit. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're going to go out in the first round. I'm just saying, for a lot of like the Rockets hoopla, this should be a warning sign to some of you. Just so you know. I'm gonna get a little bit more into this so I can explain it better. But because I still got mad respect for the Rockets, I'm just saying that the blueprint may have been laid out on how to beat them. And I'm gonna make that more clear for you when I get back. Just a second. Well, not a second, but you know what I mean. I'll be right back.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines, they got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast with your host, Ryan Holloway, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. Here we go. So I was telling you guys about the Celtics' epic 26-point comeback over the Rockets, and we went over a few of the stats when it came down to it. And one thing I also noticed about this was that the Rockets also shot more free throws than them, which, I mean, if I would assume they would, because James Harden is a magician at getting to the free throw line. Did I say that right? Magician? Why did I say magician? I was going to say he was magical. Magician's fine. Okay, so before you get confused, think I don't know how to say magician. I was confused about whether or not I was going to say magical or magician. I'm going to go with magician. So anyway, he's a magician at getting the free throw line. And the Boston Celtics made 7 more shots altogether than the Rockets did. And when you look at it, you can see that the Rockets just shot more threes than them. So basically, they literally shot themselves out of the game. And I feel like that's probably going to be the blueprint to get them out. So, I mean, you get them in a half court set, which is what the Celtics do. The Celtics play in a half court set. I mean, for the most part, I mean, they go on fast breaks when Kyrie is being the dribble god, and they'll go on a fast break where Kyrie will put on his own magic show and just do something that doesn't even make any sense with the ball. I've always been a big Allen Iverson fan, 100%. And he had a handle that was incredible. However, he had a handle that was more his handle was wild, but he was fast too. So him and Tim Hardaway, they had a great handle, but they were also just very fast. So I don't mind saying that Steph Curry or Kyrie has a better handle than AI. I mean, AI even said that Steph Curry kind of reminds him of him. But I think AI was more fast, and some of these other players have just a ridiculous. Kyrie's handle is crazy. When he gets in the open court, you should just get out of the way. I don't know what's scarier, Kyrie dribbling the ball towards you and then you closing out, or a running back just running toward you. Because I have a feeling, at least if a running back is running towards you, if you let him run over you, he might trip over your rib cage. Say if you got to get in front of Ezekiel Elliott, right, and he's running towards you, and then he just puts his helmet down and puts it in your sternum, you fall on the ground. There's a possibility that while your body is turning into a pretzel from that impact, that your pretzel body might just bear trap his foot, and then he may maybe a shoelace tackle. Is that what it's called? I think it's called a shoelace tackle. And then you shoelace tackle him by accident. That might happen. You'll be hurt, but that'll happen. But Kyrie, closing out on him, he would do something with the ball that would make you end up sitting in one of the courtside chairs. Nothing happened. You'd be on the court wearing a basketball uniform, and then as Kyrie is dribbling towards you, he would be like, skirt, skirt, beep, boop, 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 boop. And then within a half a second, you'd be on the sideline just holding popcorn. And you'd be looking around wait, what? Wait, what? How? I'm supposed to be, but I thought I was playing. That's what he would do to you. So, other than those situations, they're usually in a half court set. You could see that by the points they average per game, because they're more of a defensive team. So it seems it seems like not all you have to do, because it's not super simple, but I mean, if you let them sit in the half court set and let them shoot themselves out of the game, then you're good. That's pretty much what the Spurs did to them. That's what the Spurs did to them last season. I mean, the Spurs were better than the Rockets, and I want to say that Nene got hurt. I'll give them that, but they'll shoot them in a half court set. They'll shoot themselves out of the game because they don't have an actual half court set. For those of you that have seen them in a half court set and you've seen players cut and they drop a dime, I'm not talking about that. I mean, when they're in a half court set, they have to move the ball around and find a different way to score, give it to a big man, kick it back out, not a triangle per se, but a fast break scoring opportunity, something along those lines. So, I mean, I feel like these are going to be good playoffs. I don't really necessarily see them in a first half exit. I mean, a first, what would be the word? First round. Yeah, I don't see them in a first round exit. Who would they play in the first round? Give me a second. I'm gonna ask my producer. Do you know who they play? Who will they play? Can you tell me or no? Okay. Thanks. Right now they play Portland. So they play Portland, and I feel like Portland would probably lose to them because this is what happens. The teams that aren't as good, the Warriors do this a lot, and the Rockets will too. The teams that aren't as good, when those teams come out and they're just pulling threes, they're just like confidently, and so they miss the first 3 shots, and then you rebound those, you go down and you score, let's say you score 2 out of your 3 possessions from their turnovers. You're like, yeah, we got 4 points. Then they miss like 3 more shots. Then you score another 2 times. Now it's 8-0. And you're like, oh yeah, we're up 8-0 usually in our regular games. This means that we may possibly win. The Rockets, the Warriors come down. Clank, 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 clank. And after that, your whole 8-point lead is now 16-8. And then they get like 2 more points on like layups. Now it's 20-8. And now you're trying to shoot yourself to catch up with them. And now your 3-pointers, as I've repeated on this 1,000 times, your 3-pointers have now turned into long rebounds. And then you lose the game because you're trying to keep up with them. But the good teams, the solid teams, they already know like, yo, we just got to get back on D. And then we'll be fine. We don't got to play their game. We don't have to shoot, but it can get exhausting when you're moving the ball around, using up like a lot of your 24 to get 2 points. And then someone else comes down and uses like three off the 24 and they get 3 points. But that's why you got to play your game. Message for the day. Another message for you guys before New Year's Day. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Do what you came to do. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Just do what you came to do. If you came to play basketball and play in the half-court set and knock it out and get it done, give it to Dame Lillard, let him get 33. Give it to CJ McCullough, let him get 25. If that's what you came to do, that's fine. But don't get out of your lane trying to be James Harden, trying to be Steph Curry, trying to be Klay Thompson, trying to be Ryan Anderson and Eric Gordon. No, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. This is where we're at with this. That's my analysis of the Rockets. I wish them the best because I like the Rockets. I like Houston. I like their squad. I like the history of that team. Kenny Smith, Hakeem, all of them. Vernon Maxwell, Microwave, all those guys. So that's where we're at with that. Speaking of Kyrie, so Nike is releasing a new Kyrie shoe, which I'm kind of excited about it. Kinda. No, I'm not. I'm not excited. Actually, you know what? I am, because this is his first time having a shoe and like not being, not his first time, but he's not on LeBron's team with a Nike shoe, which would make his shoe be like the Nike shoe junior. You know what I mean? Like that'd be kind of whack, right? Like, oh, these are the new LeBrons. Oh, and these are the Kyries. Like, nah, I'll just buy the LeBrons. But with him having a new shoe, I don't know. I'm kind of excited about it. It's a Kyrie 4. My only problem with it is like it kind of looks like a Charles Barkley, Jason Kidd shoe from a while ago. Now, if you guys saw it, I think you would know which Barkley I'm talking about. And then if you saw it, I think you would know which Jason Kidd shoe I'm talking about. Now, I don't have a problem with Nike, you know, like remaking shoes and so on and so forth. I'm all for it. But when they do the whole, I'm going to say, non-creative thing of like kind of using the base of like another shoe and then using it for another one, it kind of offends me low key, but I will not diss Nike on this because the shoe's only $120. Now, when I say only $120, I know you're probably like, come on, bro, like $120 like for shoes. Like, how's that only? I mean, depending on where you're at listening to this, I'm not really sure where you're at. Now, you could be anywhere in the world right now, but you're here with me and I appreciate that, but you could literally be anywhere in the world. Now, it's all relative. So when I say 120, I mean, they're not like 200 like the LeBrons or, 500 like the Lonzo Ball, Big Baller brand shoes. Big Baller brand shoes. Did I just say that? Is that a thing? I can't believe that's a thing. So yeah. They're not 500 like those. They're 120. So I don't necessarily mind Nike, like, let's say, I don't want to say using the mold, but possibly like using the mold for the new Kyries, from the Barclays. I mean, they don't even look a lot like the Barclays. Just to me, like it could just be to me that they look like Barclays. Like to you, they may not. And maybe I've been around too long if they look like Barclays, right? Cause I think people buying those shoes don't even know that Charles Barkley used to play basketball. Right? Like, if you're buying Kyrie's, do you know that Charles Barkley, who's on TNT, used to be in the NBA? Do you know that? Because if you don't, then I think I aged myself incredibly badly by saying, yeah, because those look like Charles Barkley's. And you're probably like, the guy on TNT who wears Air Force Ones with this suit, that guy, you can't be talking about him. So yeah, I'm not gonna complain about the new Kyries anymore just because, I don't, they're 120, so the kids can afford them. So Nike's low-key doing it for the kids, which I don't mind. I don't mind Nike doing that. What I'm going to do for you guys, I'm going to take a quick break, and then when I get back, I'm going to tell you about like, how will I explain this? I'm going to tell you about my apology, because I had you guys pick a game the other day. And no, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm sorry. I buried the lead. When I get back, I'm going to tell you guys about who's better between LeBron and Jordan. Finally, like, we're going to end the whole argument. It's going to be done right now today. We're going to end the whole thing. It's going to be done with. And then once we're done with it, it will never be brought up again. That's how we're going to go into 2018, me telling you who's better forever. This is the definitive decision of who's better between MJ and LeBron, because I got the stats, I got the numbers, I got quotes to prove it. Like, it's going to be amazing. So don't go anywhere, even though I'm going to go somewhere. But when I get back, though, be ready for the final decision. It's going to be the final one. So brace yourself. Whatever you think, whoever you think is better now in your mind, just go ahead and play that scenario back over and over again in your head. Because once I get back and I tell you who's better and who's not, we can't talk about it anymore. It's going to be like Fight Club. Have you seen Fight Club? Have you? I hope you have. If you haven't seen Fight Club, there's a part where they're like, what's the first rule of Fight Club? Don't talk about Fight Club. What seems redundant, because if you're asking someone that rule, that means you're having a conversation about it, but that's just the rule. So we're going to have a Fight Club rule when it comes to MJ and LeBron. What's the first rule of MJ and LeBron? Don't talk about MJ and LeBron. Okay? I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA. From the UFC to extreme cage fighting, they got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA Podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway. Presented on the GSMC Podcast Network for all of your podcasting needs. As promised, I told you guys when I got back, I would just end this whole debate for you. We're going to go into 2018 not worried about this anymore, about who's better between LeBron and Jordan. Because as of right now, I figured the whole thing out. I figured it out. I contacted top men and women, top women, my staff, record label and crew. They did math. They contacted rocket scientists. They awakened the ghost of Steve Jobs. Somebody summoned Albert Einstein, and we worked it all out. Whole bunch of great minds to work it out. And are you ready? I'm going to tell you. You guys ready? All right, brace yourselves. If you're standing up, sit down. If you're sitting down, stand up. If you're standing up, put your left foot in. Take your left foot out, put your right foot in, and shake it all about. Okay, you ready? All right, cool. This is the definitive conclusion of this argument. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter who's better between LeBron and Jordan. You want to know what that's like? It's like me asking you, who's better between Barry Sanders and Barry Bonds? It doesn't matter. Like, it's, and you know what, you want to know how I found out that it doesn't matter? I'm going to tell you how I found out, because this isn't like I was like, hey, I wonder what I'm going to talk about today. And I was like, you know what? I don't have anything to talk about, so I'm going to talk about LeBron and Jordan. No, that's not how this went. I know what you might be thinking, because sometimes people do that on their shows. I don't do that on this show. I only talk about what happened. So the reason this came up was because Scottie Pippen was asked the other day how he felt about the situation. And Scottie Pippen said that LeBron is probably past Michael Jordan when it comes to stats. Like, he said the numbers don't lie. He's right there. And when you look across the board, not just scoring, check his assists, check his rebounds, he's probably ahead of Jordan. Now, this is LeBron's 15th season. Okay. Michael Jordan, for his career, played 15 whole seasons. So this is the time when, let's say, this is the time when I guess we can have like a good comparison of the numbers. MJ averaged 30.1 points per game over 15 seasons. And LeBron James, 27.2 points. MJ, 6 rebounds. LeBron James, 7 rebounds. Jordan, 5 assists. LeBron, 7 assists. Jordan, 2 steals. LeBron, 1.6. And they both average 0.08 blocks. So their numbers are really close. Like, you know, and for the diehard Jordan worshipers out there, they're going to say, hey man, 30 points. That's okay. If you guys want to debate back and forth about which one of those numbers are more significant, 27 versus 30, 7 versus 5, that's okay. I'm 100% with it. That's fine. However, Scottie Pippen said that he'll probably never catch Jordan in the sense of MVPs, but statistics are there. Now, and before I go into that, I'm going to talk about MJ too. Michael Jordan was asked at his flight camp during the summer, would he rank Kobe Bryant? Would he rank LeBron James ahead of Kobe Bryant? And Michael Jordan said no, because like there's something about 5 that is more than 3, like referring to like the championships that like Kobe has, because Kobe has 5 championships and LeBron has 3. Now, here's why this doesn't matter. I think the LeBron Jordan thing, I feel like it's subjective, and it's one of those things where like we don't really have any stats on this. I mean, we have stats, but all the stats are subjective. You want to know why? Because sometimes the rings matter, sometimes the rings don't matter. Scottie Pippen said he probably won't catch him in terms of MVP. I personally feel like LeBron James is having an MVP season right now. So if LeBron won another MVP, that would give him 5 MVPs. Michael Jordan also has 5 MVPs. But then LeBron would basically tie Jordan for MVPs, and that number would probably be neutralized. So the Jordan heads would say, nah, because Jordan has 5, it ties him. If somehow, some way LeBron won 2 more rings in his older age, not even in his older age. I mean, if he went and won them, let's say LeBron did go to the Rockets. Like I talked about this on Wednesday, like if LeBron went to the Rockets, which would be outrageous. Okay. If LeBron went to the Rockets or whatever, and they won a championship, I feel like the Jordan heads, Kobe heads would say, no, that doesn't count because he went to go play with Harden. Then LeBron heads would say, well, Kobe won championship with Shaq. Oh no, but that was different. That's what they'll say. There won't be an argument as to how it was different. It would just be that was different. That's what they would say. Similar to like Michael Jordan had like a first round exit when he wore number 45, but they only count that, but they say Michael Jordan's better because he never lost in the finals. So basically LeBron is being punished for going to the finals so many times. Because if he went to the finals and never lost, then it's just, we have these subjective ways to find different pieces of arguments and use them to our advantage. So like this ring thing, Michael Jordan, and don't get me wrong, Michael Jordan knows more about basketball than me. I'm the first one to admit that. Well, maybe Michael Jordan be the first one to admit it, because from what I gather, he's incredibly competitive. So he may be somewhere right now like, I know more basketball than Ryan Holloway. And if he knows me, that's fine. Thanks, MJ. MJ, whoever you're talking to, if you're saying, I know more basketball than Ryan Holloway, that's cool, because they're probably like, who's Ryan Holloway? Then MJ's going to tell him. He's this guy that does this show, and he thinks he knows more basketball than me. And the person to say, let me just stop this fake conversation between Michael Jordan and this random person that he's talking to about me, because that's kind of arrogant and crazy. I'm going to stop doing that right now. Anyway, I know less basketball than Michael Jordan. So if he says that, I guess, I don't know, 5 rings are more than 3, then so be it. 5 rings are more than 3. Michael Jordan went to North Carolina. He knows math. But with that takes the ring argument into play, right? So if we're talking to MJ and he says, oh, well, 5 is more than 3, so Kobe's better. Well, that's the first thing you run to. Isn't it really easy to just go ahead and say that there's other players that are better than Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan has 6 rings and other players have more than 6? Because when we run straight to these rings, we're just building the argument that we want to have, right? So we're not taking a stat and saying, okay, among all of these stats, this is what we have. And among all 10 of these stats, this person has 6 that are more important than 6 stats out of the 10 that we're measuring, which makes this person more important. No, we don't do that. We just pick which one we want to use at that time. That's what we do. So if someone tells you, oh, well, Bill Russell has this many rings than Michael Jordan, then someone's going to say, well, that was a time when Bill Russell was one of 2 7-foot players in the league, and the league was different and there was less teams. So are you saying that we have to have a certain amount of teams for greatness to matter? It doesn't make a difference. So it does. I'm sorry to break the news to you guys, but it doesn't matter. LeBron, I'm going to tell you guys a fact right now. I'm going to tell you a fact, and you could ask any Jordan fan this. If they tell you this, if they deny this, then I don't want to call them a liar, but I'm going to say their statement is a liar. LeBron can win 4 championships in a row right now. LeBron can win 4 championships in a row, averaging 22 points per game. And the Jordan fans and Kobe fans will still not say that LeBron is better than them. He can win 4 straight. Like, he could beat the Warriors twice in a row. Let's say he went on like an epic run where like he beat the Warriors twice. And then the Warriors like disbanded because they were upset that he beat the Rockets. And then, I don't know, maybe like Durant went to Portland or whatever. Then he beat Portland. Let's just say he won 4 in a row. If he won 4 in a row and averaged 23 points per game, people's like, oh, whatever. Well, he only averaged 23, so his average is down. And he's in the East, and this is the new East, so the East isn't even that good. But Michael Jordan played in the East. No, but it was different then. Okay, all right. So it doesn't matter, guys. Like, I'm sorry. Me personally, like, I'm a LeBron fan, and I really honestly think that I feel like LeBron is the greatest basketball player ever because he can do everything. He can do any and everything, and I feel like I believe. Now, I don't know this, but this troubles me. There are some Jordan championships that Michael Jordan won that I don't know if LeBron would have won on those teams. I hands down, I'll say that. I'll say that's true. Like, there's some MJ championships that I don't know if LeBron would have won. Not sure about it. Like the one, for example, like the one against the Jazz, I don't know. I'm not sure if he would have did that. I don't know. Not 100% sure. Like, if you replace them with each other, but there's some LeBron finals losses that I don't think that MJ could have won. Right? So that finals loss, like LeBron took when he was a young guy, when he was a young boy, when it was him, Delonte West, Boobie Gibson, Mo Williams, Big Z, Andrew Varejao, I think Ben Wallace, and they didn't have washed up Shaq yet, but he had this like ragtag motley crew of individuals and dragged them to the finals and took that L against the Spurs. They got swept. I don't think MJ could have beat that Spurs team. I don't think so. Just like if you put MJ on the Sixers, that team that AI took to the finals to play the Lakers, they got 1 game. I don't think MJ could have beat those Lakers. I don't think so. Also, that team that LeBron drugged to the finals without Kyrie and Kevin Love, I don't think MJ could have beat those Warriors. I don't think so. I don't. So if we're going to like say, you can't put MJ on every team that LeBron was going to say, oh no, MJ would have never lost, because it's unfair. It's unfair. And the longer and longer and longer and longer that MJ is gone, the more unrealistic expectations, not expectations. Yeah. The unrealistic expectations we put upon LeBron. And that's why I hope, for my sake and for the legacy of like LeBron, we're born the same year. So for the sake of him and for the sake of like his legacy, I hope he retires on time and doesn't do that hang around thing where he messes up his stats just hanging around. I hope not, because the earlier you retire, all we remember is greatness. When MJ played for the Wizards, he averaged 23 points a game. And he came back just because he felt like coming back. just because he wanted to, just to see if he could still ball. In one game, he had 50. He came back and had 50 in the game. I was like, all right, I'm cool. I don't want to play anymore. So, and we remember that. That's dope. I mean, that's outstanding. That's incredible. We love that. And so we still remember him being great. I hope LeBron does the same thing. So I hope that I didn't ruin Christmas for you guys. Not Christmas. Well, hey, maybe your Christmas is ruined by finding out that this doesn't matter. Because if you can have this debate with someone all day long, but I'm going to tell you this one thing. If they tell you that MJ or Kobe is better because they have more rings than LeBron, then just stop. Then you can't, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing because that's where they're going to stand at. Now, if you're a Kobe or MJ head and a LeBron fan tells you like, yo, but LeBron's been to more finals than all of them, just stop. Because if that's how they're going to measure their argument, then there's nothing you can do about it. If you guys want to take 10 of the most important stats and measure them, then so be it. But if someone's going to keep giving you the whole ring argument or the whole he won a championship on two different teams thing back and forth, like arguments that can't be stopped, then it doesn't matter. This is what we're doing with that. If I tell you, hey, I'm better than you, and you say, why? And I say, well, because I have more money than you. And you say, okay. And you tell me, hey, I'm better than you. And I say, why? And you say, well, because I'm taller than you. And I say, And I say, well, I have more money. Well, I'm taller. Well, I have more money. Well, I'm taller. We can't measure those things up against each other. You're taller. That's it. Like, there's nothing I could do. If MJ has 6 rings and LeBron has 3 rings and the person you're talking to feels like 6, dominates 3, don't tell them that Bill Russell has more rings. It's not going to do anything. So it doesn't matter. It's done. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry this happened. I'm sorry to break this to you and that you won't be able to have this argument in 2018 anymore, but that's just where we're at, guys. So when I get back, I'm going to tell you about my apology. I will apologize to you about giving you a bad pick the other day because I take responsibility for my actions because I'm a grown up. Okay. I'm going to take responsibility for that. I'm also going to give you a pick of the week, a game of the week, and I'm going to tell you something that happened like it was in 99. So 18 years ago. Was that 18? Was 1999 18 years ago? Oh my God. No, are you serious? That can't be right. Is that right? Oh God. 18 years ago? I guess so. Jesus. Okay. So I'm going to tell you guys something that happened 18 years ago. And which is kind of interesting because it kind of happened this time a few weeks ago. But we'll see how you feel about it. So I'm going to take a quick break. And then when I get back, I'll give you guys that whole, tidbit. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Podcast on the GSMC Podcast Network with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway. So this is my formal apology. I just want to go ahead and give you guys, an apology. So what happened was the other day I gave you a pick and I said, hey, you know what you should do? You should probably go ahead and pick the Kings. No, you should pick the Cavs minus 11 points against the Kings because the Cavs just lost to the Warriors on Christmas. You know, this going to cause people to be upset. Maybe LeBron will come in with a vengeance. He'll let people have it. That's what I told you to do. But somehow, some way, we had a Vince Carter sighting. Vince Carter drafted in 1999 with Paul Pierce, Jason Williams. You know, when a lot of people that I know were in 8th grade. Wait, I shouldn't say that. Age myself. Somehow Vince Carter decided to have 24 points. And they end up beating the Cavaliers by all of 13 points. So for that, I apologize for giving you guys a bad pick. My bad. I take full responsibility. But what I do want to say is that, I mean, hats off to Vince Carter, though. Like, here, I don't think people seem to understand this. And what ends up happening is like, we're like, oh, these old heads, dude been in the league for so long, blah, blah, blah. See, now, not only is it really hard to like play basketball professionally, like it's really hard. It's also hard to play basketball professionally on like a competitive level because Vince Carter and Zach Randolph, they're not just sitting on the bench. Like they ball. Like Vince Carter came in the game and scored 24 points to lead all scorers, like on the Kings. 24 buckets. He's still playing ball. Wait, and I've had friends and have said things like, oh, Kobe Bryant scored 81 points. That's cool. When I was in high school, I used to score 40. I don't believe you because like I saw you play in high school and I don't even think that you played 40 minutes the whole season. So for Vince Carter, like OG to get up there and score 24 points in an NBA game, like against LeBron and the Cavs that just lost a game on Christmas to the Warriors, I think that's a big deal. Like I'm completely with it. Vince Carter has been in the league since 1999. Like, do you know how long ago that was? Like, so there wasn't really like an iPhone back then. I'm gonna tell you that. That's what we'll do. That's just what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna go into how long ago it was. I'm just gonna tell you there wasn't an iPhone. Now, if that doesn't do it for you, if that doesn't do it for you, that's fine. There wasn't an iPhone. Does that not work for you? Okay, fine. Can I tell you something else? There wasn't Wi-Fi. Now what? Put that on. There wasn't an iPhone. And there wasn't Wi-Fi. Well, there wasn't Wi-Fi anywhere we could use it. Like they weren't just giving it out in like Starbucks and McDonald's and in the porta potty. They weren't just giving out Wi-Fi. I think to get Wi-Fi back then, you had to be your last name had to be Bush or Diddy. Well, his last name isn't really Diddy, but yeah, your last name had to be Diddy. Well, you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna say back then, P. Diddy wasn't even Diddy. I think he was still Puff Daddy. That's how long ago it was when Vince Carter was drafted. When Vince Carter was drafted, there wasn't Wi-Fi, and P. Diddy was Puff Daddy. That's how long ago it was. There. Hopefully that puts some perspective in that for you. Vince Carter's 40 and dropped 24. So congratulations to him. Merry Christmas. This is where we're at right now with this. Okay. I am going to give you guys another pick in the game of the night. So because I take full responsibility for my other pick, I'm going to let you guys know this. This may be the first time I'm telling you I'm sorry for giving you a bad pick. You want to know why I'm sorry? You want to know why? Because I don't usually give you bad picks. That doesn't happen. It doesn't. But I mean, because something like I feel like amazing happened within that game for me to lose that game. I feel like it was worth mentioning, right? Vince Carter scored 24. You can't roll if you were telling me like, hey Ryan, the only way that you're going to win this bet is if Vince Carter doesn't score 24. I'd have been like, okay, fine. Is that the bet? Because if he doesn't score 24, I feel like the Cavs cover. I feel like LeBron, me and him being the same age, he was looking at Vince Carter like, man, OG is balling. I'm not going to take away his shine. Let that man have that. And I would have did the same thing. Now, if Vince Carter was like off and had like 8, I feel like LeBron wouldn't have mind just scoring 40 in Sacramento and just calling it a day. So, I mean, if I lost that game because Vince Carter, one of my favorite heroes, had 24, I'll take that L. I'll take that L and I'm going to hold it. This is what I'm recommending for you guys tonight. You ready? All right, cool. The game I recommend that you take for tonight, as far as you putting a couple dollars on it, just a couple dollars, I'm going to recommend you take the New Orleans Pelicans -6 against the Mavs. The game is in New Orleans, and the New Orleans Pelicans are balling. Rondo had 25 assists the other night. Now, That's actually something I forgot to talk about. Jeez, unbelievable! I have so much fun on the phone on the phone. I have so much fun talking to you guys. Sometimes a topic could just slip my mind. Let me just squeeze this in. Rondo the other night had 25 assists. That's the most assists in franchise history. I don't know which franchise they're talking about because the Pelicans used to be the Hornets and the Hornets were the Bobcats, and then it's a mess. But he had 25 assists and 2 points. Rondo said that he's blessed to be able to have played with such great players in his career, and he's fortunate to be able to be in the situation to make their jobs easier, which I think is great. Rondo is a terrific scorer. Drew Holiday had 23, Anthony Davis had 30, and Boogie Cousins had 25. So Rondo was dropping dimes. They're hot. If I were you, I would take the New Orleans Pelicans -6 whole buckets. The game to watch tonight is going to be OKC versus Milwaukee. The Oklahoma City Thunder are on a tear right now. They're winning some games consecutively. It seems like they're finally gelling, but I think it's going to be great to see Westbrook go up against Giannis because they both play basketball. They both play basketball like possessed men. Like they play as though they really play like. They really play like the zombie apocalypse is going to start tomorrow and there won't be any more basketball courts. That's how they play. Like Westbrook plays like he's playing basketball to scare zombies. Like he dunks every time as though like if a zombie was watching, he'd be like, you know what? I don't even have the energy to do that. I don't have the energy to bite him. I don't, because as a zombie, I'm already kind of weak in my knees, and that's just not something I want to deal with. I don't want to deal with it. I don't. So watch that game tonight. I definitely recommend Bucks versus OKC. As promised, I told you guys I was going to start doing a little like this year, this day in NBA history for you, just to give you a little bit of game, something to talk about by the water cooler with your people so that you can just go ahead and act like you know what you're talking about, because that's what I'm here. I'm just here to share game and exchange understanding. And in that way, like whenever you're talking to people, you can go ahead and know what you're talking about, or you can at least pretend you know what you're talking about, because none of us really know anything. But I won't go that far into that. So this year, this year, 18 years ago, Wilt Chamberlain was the first player to have his number retired by three different teams. And I thought this was interesting because Kobe Bryant just recently, like another Laker on the, how do we say, in the another Laker of the Laker family, Wilt's a Laker as well. Kobe Bryant had two numbers retired by one team, which we all thought was pretty interesting. I mean, you get two numbers retired by one team. Like, how can you get both numbers? Well, because he's that great on both ends of each number, 10 years and 10 years. But Wilt Chamberlain, December 29th, 1999, was the first player to have his number retired by three teams. Golden State Warriors retired his number 13. The Philadelphia 76ers retired his number 13. And the Los Angeles Lakers retired his number 13. Wilt Chamberlain, so basically 18 years ago, the Warriors retired his jersey. So that was like the third team to retire that number, which is dope because his number's 13. So like 1 times 3 equals 3. So like 3 teams. I'm kind of in the numbers like that. Sorry if that got weird. But when he was with the Warriors, he spent 6 seasons with the Warriors. And you guys know what his stats were when he was with the Warriors? I just want you to kind of guess. I want you to guess. I'm gonna ask you what his stats were over the 6 years he was with him. Just guess. 6 years. He was with the Warriors. 6 years. Can't guess? All right. When Wilt Chamberlain was with the Warriors, he averaged 41 points a game and 25 rebounds in 429 games. Oh my God. Do you know how many buckets that is? Like, this is what gets me with averages, right? So we hear like average and we think, 40. Like, for example, when a player has a bad game, we're like, oh my God, he got shut down. He had 17. Well, he averages 30 because sometimes he has 45. So he didn't get shut down. That's just the way an average works, right? Okay. So he averaged 41 points. So you know what that means? That means some games he had 65. Like that, or you know what? Or at least 60. At least that means some games he would just have 60. Like randomly, like, I'm going to have 60 points today. He'd have 60 points regular. He wouldn't average 60, but regularly have 60. And then some games he'd probably be tired or not play the game. He may have 20, miss a whole bunch of layups. Who knows? But geez, that's so many buckets. So, bless up to Wilt. And yeah, I mean, 13, 3 times, three different teams. I think that's a pretty good accomplishment. R.I.P. Wilt, we miss you, B. Wish I could have saw you play. Only player to ever score 100 points in a game. Kobe had 81. Devin Booker had 70. So we're getting there. I think eventually somebody might score 100. Just by the way, no one's scoring 100. I feel like somebody might score 81 and give me 93, but 100's crazy. So with that, I'm going to wish you guys a happy new year. And again, I thank you for being here with me, and we will spread New Year's cheer in 2018 while I will be seeing you on Wednesday, whatever day that is. Also, here's the thing. I was just kidding about the LeBron Jordan thing because we have to still talk about that because LeBron is still in the league. When LeBron retires, we won't need to talk about it anymore because we won't have anything to point at and criticize. But as of right now, you guys can still talk about it. Just don't mention it around me because I'm kind of over it. So with that, I wish you well. Happy 2018. I'll talk to you guys next week. Live long, prosper. Watch out for potholes. Oh, when you're out this weekend, this is what I need you to do. I need you to do this. Just Uber. And not because of drunk drivers, but just if everyone Ubers, then everyone's going to know where they're going and traffic could be better. You shouldn't drink and drive. I get that. That's cool. Don't do that. But if all you guys are going to a party and nobody knows where they're going, it makes traffic. So just Uber everywhere. The Uber driver kind of knows where they're going sometimes. I mean, they may even ask you for directions, but you can get in the car. You won't have to look at the map. You can just enjoy your date, have a good time, but just Uber, because I don't need you guys driving and being drunk and looking at your phone trying to figure out what exit to get off at. I don't have that kind of time because I'm going out of town and I don't need to be on the road with people that don't know where they're going, even though I won't know where I'm going, which is a contradiction, and I'm a hypocrite, but that's okay because I love you guys anyway. Anyway, live long, prosper, happy new year. This has been the GSMC Basketball Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway, presented on the GSMC Podcast Network for all of your podcasting needs. Thank you and good night.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.